Okay, as far as upcoming games are concerned, basically we just learned about something that was very interesting as far as upcoming releases are concerned, and pretty much we have learned within the past couple of hours that we will be seeing a new Samurai Jack game sometime in the near future. We don't know exactly when because the day hasn't been confirmed yet. And for those who don't know, Samurai Jack was pretty much an anime that was released back in the early 2000s. I believe it came out back in 2001, and it had a really interesting plot that pretty much revolved around a warrior named Jack, who was basically sent to the future as when he was young, and then basically had to go back in time and basically defeat the main antagonist, who pretty much responsible for him being sent to the future named Aku, and this basically all takes place in a fictional feudal Japanese kingdom, and pretty much is a pretty good backstory to it. I remember when it was on Cartoon Network back in the early 2000s. It was one of the most popular shows on the lineup. And I believe the first four seasons of Samurai Jack lasted between 2001 and 2003. And then it went on a hiatus for many years, and it returned back in 2017 for a final season, and that consisted of 10 episodes, I believe. So overall, there was about 62 episodes within the entire series, and it should also be noted that it's the first Samurai Jack game that we'll be seeing since the one we got back in 2004, which is known as Samurai Jack: The Shadow of Aku, and it was released for the PlayStation 2 and GameCube. And as far as sales and stuff is concerned, it wasn't really great, and even as far as gameplay was concerned, it wasn't really that great. But it was probably a decent game, but the problem is it was probably overshadowed by so many games, especially on the PlayStation 2, because you got to remember back in the early 2000s, you had games such as, the GTA series, which got very popular on the PS2. I believe Grand Theft Auto San Andreas came out back in 2004. You had games like Gran Turismo 4. You had Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater. You had so many, big games on the PS2, and it just turns out that for the most part, action adventure games were popular, but the GTA series was very popular, and not only that, the I believe the Xbox console came out back in the early 2000s, and a lot of people were choosing Xbox over GameCube, I believe, because sales for GameCube wasn't really that great. So maybe if the first Samurai Jack game was released on Xbox opposed to GameCube, it could have gotten more popular. But it's also a fat chance of that possibly happening back in the day, because remember, shooter games were really popular, especially the Halo series and all that was really popular on Xbox console back in the early 2000s. But either way, it's pretty cool that we're going to see a new Samurai Jack game sometime in the near future. And based on what I've heard, basically it's going to be on Nintendo Switch. I'm not sure if it's going to be on any other consoles such as the PS4 or the Xbox One or even the PS5 or Project Scarlet or whatever. But it being a Switch exclusive could make people want to buy the Nintendo Switch even more if they don't have it and they're fans of the series, and it can make it stand out as an attraction, as it being an exclusive game on Nintendo Switch. But on the other hand, having the Samurai Jack game on more than one console could definitely give the game more exposure. The only fear is that if you have it on the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, it can get overshadowed by many big games that we have seen throughout 2019 and within the past couple of 2 months of not even 2 months, like a month and some change of 2020. So it's going to be really interesting to see how well this game is, and and in terms of like artwork and gameplay, and how well they if they decide to go through all five of the seasons, how well the game will cover all five of the seasons, and what direction they decide to take as far as putting the game together and coming up with the plot and telling the story of the show basically in a video game.